What's up everybody, Joel with the one and only Real Broker, and today we're coming at you with another video on how to make money in real estate. Whether you're looking to start a career in the real estate industry or invest in properties for profit, there are many ways to make money in real estate, and in this video we're going to explore some of the most popular methods. So if you guys are ready, let's get straight to it. Method number one, my absolute favorite, is being a real estate agent. Now, if you're interested in a career in real estate, the very first step is to, of course, take your classes, do your test, get your license. Once you're licensed, now you can choose a brokerage to hang your license under. As a realtor, it's your primary focus to build strong relationships with clients, stay up to date on market trends and regulations. One way to make money as a real estate agent is by selling houses for a commission. When you sell a property, of course, you're going to earn a percentage of the sale as your commission, depending on the agreement between the seller and the agent. Now, to succeed in this field, you're going to need strong communication, strong negotiation skills, and the ability to effectively market yourself to potential clients. Method number two on how to make money in real estate. This one is very popular, and that is wholesaling. As a wholesaler, it's your goal to find properties that are priced lower than the current market value and sell those properties to other investors for profit. To do this, you're going to have a really good understanding of the local market and be able to identify, properties that have potential. Once you found a property, you'll negotiate the contract with the seller, and then you'll be able to assign or sell that contract to an investor for a fee. The fee is typically a percentage of the sale, and that could range anywhere from a few $1,000s to tens and thousands of dollars, depending on the property's value. The third way to make money in real estate is by what's called a wrap mortgage. Now, a wrap mortgage is whenever the seller finances the property and becomes the lender for the buyer. The buyer then makes payments to the seller, who in turn uses that money to pay the underlying mortgage on the property. Now, the purchaser of that property can then go out and market and find a different type of buyer. This type of buyer is typically someone who is self-employed or doesn't necessarily report a lot of money during taxes. Now, you could imagine this is hard for them to go out and get a traditional mortgage through traditional lenders. And what typically happens is the buyer will then go out and find this type of person who can't necessarily get traditional lending, and he'll sell that mortgage and he'll wrap a whole new set of terms around it. So for example, typically, let's say the purchaser bought it from the original homeowner with 3.5% interest rate. He could then go out and sell that for an even higher interest rate, or even, require some sort of down payment. But essentially, you have the original terms that he got from the original purchaser. He wrapped a whole new set of terms around it, and then he sold that to some buyer who can't, typically get regular lending. Now, this is beneficial for everybody because the original seller is able to sell his property at terms in which he is comfortable with. The purchaser at that point then can go out and find another buyer who has the problem of not being able to purchase a property. So now seller sells their property. This person over here is able to acquire a property, and you, as the wrap mortgager, at that point, you're making money from the terms of the end buyer. Method number 4 on how to make money in real estate. We're going to talk about subject to. What is subject to? This is a type of real estate transaction where the buyer takes ownership of a property subject to the existing mortgage or liens on the property, without assuming necessarily responsibility for paying off the existing mortgage. Essentially, the buyer takes over the payments on the underlying mortgage without having to go get a new mortgage to pay off the one that's already in place. Method number 5 is seller financing. Now, seller financing is somewhat similar to subject to, except there's no underlying debt. and the seller becomes the lender for the buyer. So instead of going out and getting a loan from the bank, the buyer makes payments directly to the seller. Over time, the seller earns interest on the loan and the buyer gets ownership of the property. This method can be a really good option for buyers who may not qualify for traditional financing or who wants to avoid the hassle of going to a bank. Now, subject to and seller financing can be very beneficial for both the buyer and the seller. Typically, the seller are in situations where they want more money than what it's actually worth on the free market, or maybe there's really not enough equity in the property, but they need to sell it, right? So at this point, the person purchasing the property subject to will figure out, good terms as far as the interest rate, as far as the down payment, as far as, the length of the term. Now, when coming to some sort of agreement, both parties have some sort of benefit, right? This person will get to sell the property and this person will get to purchase it without necessarily putting a lot of money down or maybe getting a really good interest rate. Next, we're going to talk about short-term rentals. Short-term rentals such as Airbnb have been extremely popular in recent times. Short-term rentals can provide a steady stream of income for property owners in popular tourist areas specifically. However, managing short-term rentals can be a little time-consuming. It can require a significant amount of effort, and you'll need to make sure that you market the property properly in order to maintain occupancy. Something a little bit more easy than short-term rentals, very popular, is long-term rentals. You'll get to rent out the property for a tenant over an extended period of time, typically a year or more. This method could be good for investors who want to generate passive income and don't necessarily want to deal with the hassle of actively managing a short-term property. However, it may take a little bit longer to see significant profits with a long-term rental compared to some other methods. So to wrap it up, guys, there's a lot of ways to make money in real estate. Those are only some of them. There are more ways, and the key is to find out what works best for you. It's important to do your research and to know the benefits and the drawbacks of each method and work with professionals who can help you navigate through some of the complexities of these different investing strategies or these different active strategies of making money in real estate. So there you guys have it. Joel with Real Broker. Until next.